Now, previously, they had locked 2 clans behind a day 1 DLC, Lasombra and Toreador. Those clans are no longer locked. You don't have to pay extra for them. They're part of the base game and will be there on launch day, making all 6 clans playable for everyone. The White Wolf Executive Vice President and Bloodlines 2 Executive Producer said, "Thanks to our community for the frank feedback on Bloodlines 2 and the Premium Edition. The feedback made it clear Lasombra and Toreador belong in the base game, so that is what we are doing. We'd also like to thank the Chinese Room for their quick turnaround on the concepts for the post-launch story packs. We're constantly impressed by their creativity and skill in weaving enticing narrative threads that expand on the main story and Bloodlines 2. We're also unveiling 2 Bloodlines 2 story packs, Loose Cannon, the Bruja Sheriff Benny story, and the Flower and the Flame, the Toreador Primogen Isabel's Path. Both are included in the Premium Edition expansion pass alongside the Day 1 unlock of the Santa Monica Memories cosmetic pack and will be released in 2026. Basically what this means is the base game now has all the clans, or is going to on launch anyway, and for the premium, instead of getting the extra clans, you're going to get an expansion pass with Santa Monica Memories, which is a cosmetic pack, Loose Cannon, which is the Sheriff Benny story, and the Flower and the Flame, which is the Toreador Primogen story. It's hard to tell, how expansive these stories will be, but based on the fact that they're both called story packs and are in the premium edition as, a season pass sort of deal, they could be quite substantial, or they could just be like a single quest and the cosmetic. No way to tell at this point. After they made this announcement, there are definitely lots of comments of people who have restored faith and trust in the game. The rollout and changeover on various platforms was so smooth, so ridiculously smooth and coordinated, that it kind of makes me suspicious. What also makes me suspicious is not only, the speed and polish of this transition, is that it didn't seem like we were going to get any DLC before, because Paradox was pretty much ready to wash their hands. I'm definitely not used to game studios being efficient, and I'm also definitely paranoid. So I have this theory, and as a further disclaimer, there's absolutely no evidence to back this up, and no real reason that it would be the case, but if I was going to put on my tinfoil hat, I'd say the reason it was so smooth is because it was staged. We all know that Bloodlines 2 has had a lot of PR issues, and reversing this decision after community backlash, essentially listening to the fans, restored a whole lot of trust and is bringing about like a wave of good feeling shortly before release. What if they never intended to actually separate Toreador and Lasombra from the base game in the first place, but manufactured this whole Day 1 DLC controversy so they could get brownie points for fixing it? Now let's be clear. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it is something that crossed my mind, but I don't actually think that's what it was. I think the extra time let them get their ducks in a row, and that combined with the fact that they have such a large and profitable parent company means that they were just able to be that efficient. I think realistically that optics did have something to do with their decision. It was an opportunity for good PR, which, like I said, Bloodlines 2 really needs. That it was a good thing might have been like a secondary concern, as opposed to, salvaging their profit margins. But a lot of game studios don't even bother with that much. So even if it is slightly performative and, optics conscious, it was still a good thing, and something they didn't necessarily have to do At best, I think they took advantage of the fan outrage after the fact in order to get kudos for listening to the fans, but they still listened. I also don't think Paradox cares enough about this particular title to go with like a elaborate 3D chess marketing strategy. So the whole manufactured outrage theory, I don't think actually fits. But like I said, it did cross my mind, so I figured I would mention it. Some more baseless speculation based on the little trailer they released is that for the Bruja Sheriff Benny's story, they do say that you experience Benny's perspective, which makes me think you'll be playing as him. Quick sum up, Lasombra and Toreador are now part of the base game. There are 2 story packs that are now coming with the premium edition with at least 2 included cosmetics.